vibrant and nationalistic is by and large the critical precondition for good governance in a democracy. The press is thereby regarded as the institution of communication or information collection and dissemination available in and accessible to the state and its people. The role of ensuring accountability and transparency, especially at all levels of government, makes the media an essential factor in the permanent struggle for democracy and development. There's no way we can sustain democratic governance without engaging in the massive enlightenment of the masses. It is often argued, and rightly so, that it is possible that the greatest shortcoming of all past efforts at development and democracy have been that of the failure to really mobilize and carry the mass of the people along. From this, it is quite clear that the pivotal and leading role of the media cannot be denied in our quest for meaningful progress. The media, being the fourth estate of the realm, must be committed to the strengthening, expansion, and defense of democracy. This requires the media to take proactive stand on issues relating to protection of people's mandates in elections, the rule of law, and in all aspects of good governance. Events in recent times have given our union serious cause for concern about the profession of journalism and safety of journalists. We are alarmed that most actions being taken these days appear deliberately crafted to target and silence the media. The safety of journalists is gradually deteriorating. Safety implies freedom from danger, and in the news gathering context, safety implies protection from a range of threats journalists encounter, including arrests, legal action, imprisonment, kidnapping, intimidation, and murder, amongst others. Journalists that are hitherto exposed to more danger in violent armed conflicts than in peace and stable situations now face greater threats in a democracy like Nigeria. These threats and attacks against the media are aimed at inducing fear and self-censorship, and this should not be allowed if our democracy is to flourish. There recourse sometimes to fierce and lethal counter-reactions to reports by journalists who would challenge the status quo, and several discomfiting truths would not augur well for our dearly beloved country. The Nigeria Union of Journalists equally notes with alarm the second reading in the Senate of a bill to check the prevalence of hate speech by prescribing capital punishments for the offense. While we regret the escalation in fake news and hate speeches, and will support any meaningful engagement that will curtail these twin evils, the NUJ will not support this bill, which, if ultimately passed, could be used to silence the media and perceived political opponents. We therefore call for caution so as not to destroy the gains recorded thus far in our quest for genuine progress and development, and will appeal to the Honorable Minister, sir, as the spokesman of the federal government of Nigeria, to ensure that safety of journalists is a priority and that nothing should be done to attempt restricting freedom of the press. Because any attempts at restricting freedom of the press, which is a unique ingredient of democratic governance, is a direct invitation to anarchy. We have also taken note of the efforts by government to boost security through the establishment of the Nigerian Internal Security and Public Safety Alert System. We wish to work with you, the Honorable Minister, to key into this to promote safety and security of media professionals We hope you will avail us your time and wise counsel towards achieving this. Finally, we look forward to having a more robust working relationship with the Honorable Minister and indeed the Ministry of Information to fashion out modalities to enhance the welfare packages of journalists and building a conducive working environment. Before I end the address, I must also inform the Honorable Minister that the NUJ is already liaising with other major stakeholders towards coming up with a bill on having an enhanced media package for journalists. We clearly appreciate the role of the media in building a very strong democratic culture. And we also appreciate the contributions they make. We also appreciate the occupational hazards they face all the time. But sadly, their take home can hardly take them home. And we therefore appeal to you that by the time we dot the I's and cross the T's on this bill, that you also avail us with the necessary support so that this will fly and the National Assembly will give it the necessary legal backing, so that once again these people that make these contributions to building strong democracy for us would also be able to take care of their families who always look up to them. We thank you very much for your time, and may God continue to bless you. Thank you very much.
Mr. President and the members of the National Executive of the NUJ, I am very excited to welcome you today. This is probably the first time I'm meeting the executive of the NUJ as a body, since my second return. And yes, it's almost 3 months since I came back. But I want to assure you that we are still receiving gifts, and gifts will be received until about December. So I saw your card, but please follow with gifts. Thank you very much. I would definitely work with you and look at how the NUJ, and the Guild of Veterans journalists generally can benefit from the NISPAS, which has just been introduced by government. I think this is a matter that we'll need to discuss in camera on how the journalists also can benefit from this panic alarm system. I want to say right away that, please, there is absolutely no threat to journalists in Nigeria, not in the least. On the contrary, this government will seek the partnership of the media, and we seek also their understanding. And I think what has happened so far, I think there's been a kind of a communication gap between the ministry and probably the mainstream bodies of the NUJ, GEJ, and all the others. I'm aware that the NUJ, I think at the end of their meeting in I think it's in Lokoja, issued a statement in which they rejected the step by the federal government to regulate social media operators in the country. I think the position of the union was actually in a communique by the National Secretary, Malam Shabuleman. And it was, I think that communique, the communique said that he called on the Minister for Information and Culture not to succumb to the temptation of restricting the social media, as the attempt could easily lead to gagging the media. And I think this is a key word. The fear of the NUJ and other bodies is that no attempt should be made to gag the media in any form. And I think on this we are all for with you. But I want to say that the NUJ, in using this statement, actually put the cart before the horse by publicly rejecting the planned social media regulation without even trying to understand what it entails. As a professional body for journalists, the NUJ has its code of ethics for journalists, and this guides their operations. To the best of my knowledge, no trained professional journalist can afford to engage in fake news, because this will kill public trust in the media. I also believe that no trained professional journalist can afford to engage in hate speech, because he or she will not know the consequences. We've all covered wars. We've all covered the consequences of extremism. So it is therefore imperative for the NUJ and other professional bodies to guard their turf very jealously and ward off charlatans and fakes. When we announced our plan to regulate the social media, we said clearly that the regulation is not an attempt to gag the media or to muzzle free speech. And we said clearly that journalists, trained professional journalists, have nothing to fear. If the NUJ or the Guild of Editors, or indeed any professional body, has any fears, we expect them to reach out and engage us, rather than rushing to the media to condemn a plan to inject sanity to social media space and protect the integrity of the media. As a matter of fact, the major beneficiaries of injecting sanity into the social media or even the broadcasting is trained professional journalists. They're not the ones who are out to regulate. No, it's those charlatans. And today it comes together. Who's actually a journalist? Is everybody on social media a journalist? Now, as a matter of fact, we believe that the NUJ and other media professional bodies should take the lead in sanitizing the media space, whether it's social media, whether it's print media, whether it's it's broadcasting. You should take the lead, because you'll be the first victim of an unregulated, reckless media space. Because the moment people start losing confidence in the media, using the reckless actions of non-journalists and purveyors of fake news and hate speech, then the media currency will get devalued. Now that you are here, we will use this opportunity to inform you as follows. 1. Our plan to inject sanity into the social media space has nothing to do with gagging journalists or stifling free speech. Only the purveyors of fake news and hate speech need to be worried. 2. We will not unilaterally impose measures aimed at injecting sanity into the social media space. We work with stakeholders, and I'm sure you've received our letters, including the NUJ, Guild of Editors, Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, civil society, online publishers, bloggers, etc. Already we have dispatched letters to these stakeholders, as you confirm. A government that has the intention of guarding the media won't engage stakeholders in dialogue on the way forward. On the contrary, we believe that you should be as much concerned as we are about the recklessness on the social media today. Not least because they also parade themselves as journalists. There are many options open to us in regulating the social media. It's not just about laws. There is the use of technology that is quite unobtrusive. There's legislation. There's the use of regulatory bodies. It is up to the stakeholders when they meet to decide the best option. But we have also taken the initiative, in addition to this, to meet very soon with the platform owners like Facebook, WhatsApp, Google, Twitter, and Instagram, among others, to engage them on the way forward. Because these platform owners are as concerned as we are, and they are trying their best to ensure that their platforms are not used to disseminate fake news or hate speech. The debate on the issue of regulating the social media has been robust. Some have opposed, some have supported. And to us, this is very healthy and very welcome. But I must say that rushing to reject the plan without bothering to understand what it entails is not helpful and constitutes, to me, panic reaction. Let me be clear. We are going ahead with a plan to stop as much as we can the anarchists and purveyors of fake news and hate speeches. And I don't believe you belong to that category. No responsible government will sit by and allow these purveyors of fake news and hate speech a free rein. You've all witnessed what's happened both here and abroad. What fake news can be, the very dear cause of fake news. You'll wonder, over 800,000 lives were lost to fake news. In Kaduna State here, in Kaswamagani, more than 50 lives were lost simply because they said Muslims were killing Christians. It was not true. So, I mean, the fake news, our attempt to regulate this sector, the social media, and the over fake news and hate speech should be championed by you, because you are you have the first-hand knowledge of what these things can bring. That's why many countries of the world today are taking measures to regulate the social media. The UK, France, Germany, China, Singapore, South Korea, Kenya, Zambia, and we can go on. And you all know this. Only last Friday, France's National Assembly approved a draft bill that will require social media giants like Facebook, Twitter, and others to remove any hateful content within 24 hours. France is seeking to lead in regulating the tech giants and containing the spread of illicit content and false information on the most used platforms. And I want to recommend the quotation of one of the French parliamentarians on this issue, when he said, "What is not tolerated on the streets should not be tolerated on the internet." Finally, gentlemen, I thank you for this visit, and we look forward to working with you and other stakeholders in injecting sanity into the social media space. I thank you very much.
They said correct information brings clear thinking, and clear thinking helps people. You have to keep putting that way. Okay. Are we okay?